There's something I need to say right now. Most people think traps only exist in the afterlife, like something you only run into after death. But what if I told you the real traps are already active right now, while you're alive, while you're walking around thinking you're free? And what's worse, most people don't even realize they're inside them. They think it's just life. They think it's normal. But normal doesn't always mean natural. And the more I've looked into consciousness, the more I've listened, the more Source has shown me patterns, the more I've realized something uncomfortable. A lot of people are not living, they're looping, and they don't even know it. So let's talk about it, because if you can see the traps while you're in them, you can stop feeding them. And that changes everything. Trap 1, the identity trap. This is the first and strongest one. Most people don't realize this, but they are not living life. They are performing an identity. I am the responsible one. I am the broke one. I'm the smart one. I'm the one who always messes things up. I'm the one who holds it together. And over time, that identity becomes more real than the person underneath it. And the crazy part, the mind will defend the identity even if it destroys your life. Because the ego doesn't care if you suffer. It just cares that you stay consistent with the story. So people will stay stuck in situations that hurt them just to stay who they think they are. And Source keeps showing me this. Most suffering isn't coming from life itself. It's coming from attachment to identity. Because the moment you threaten someone's identity, you trigger fear. Even if the identity is the prison. Trap 2, the distraction loop. This one is subtle but powerful. Modern life is built to keep attention fractured. Constant scrolling, constant input, constant noise. Even when people are alone, they're rarely actually alone. There's always something playing, something feeding their mind, something pulling awareness outward. And here's the deeper issue. A distracted mind never has to face itself. And that's the real function of the loop. Because when people slow down, when it gets quiet, something starts to surface. Thoughts they avoided, feelings they buried, questions they didn't want to answer. So instead of silence, they choose stimulation. And over time, they forget what their own mind even sounds like without interference. And if you control attention, you control experience. That's why distraction is one of the most powerful traps there is. Not because it's evil, but because it keeps you unconscious of your own life. Trap 3, the fear programming trap. This one runs deeper than most people want to admit. Fear isn't just an emotion anymore in modern life. It's a system. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough, fear of losing status, fear of being alone, fear of choosing wrong, fear of even slowing down long enough to think clearly. And when fear becomes constant, it starts making decisions for you. Not logic, not intuition, fear. And here's the thing about fear. It always narrows your reality. It makes you react instead of aware. It makes you obedient instead of conscious. And the real trap, people think fear is protecting them, when in reality, it's often shrinking their entire life. Trap 4, the comfort trap. This one doesn't look like a trap at all. It looks like stability. It looks like I'm fine. It looks like I don't need more. But comfort has a hidden cost, because comfort slowly removes urgency, and without urgency, people stop growing. They stop questioning. They stop evolving. Not because they're incapable, but because nothing is pushing them anymore. And Over time, comfort becomes a cage that doesn't feel like a cage. That's the dangerous part. You don't fight it. You just slowly stop expanding. And then one day you look up and realize years passed and nothing really changed inside. Same patterns, same thoughts, same limits, just slightly more polished. Trap 5, the validation trap. This one is everywhere now. People don't just want to be understood, they want to be approved, liked, accepted, confirmed. And slowly, without noticing, people start outsourcing their self-worth. So instead of asking, what do I actually think? They start asking, what will people think of what I think? And that creates a split, a version of you for the outside world and a version of you that you never fully express. And the more that split grows, the more disconnected someone becomes from their own inner truth. Because validation feels good, but it also replaces self-trust. And without self-trust, you become dependent on external feedback to feel real. Trap 6, the time illusion trap. This is one of the deepest ones. Most people believe time is just something that passes, but they don't realize how much of their life is built around later. I'll start later. I'll change later. I'll heal later. I'll live later. But later is a psychological illusion because all anyone ever actually has is now. And when later becomes the main operating system, life gets postponed indefinitely. And the trap is simple. People feel like they have time, so they don't fully engage with their life until suddenly they realize they were never promised more of it. Trap 7, the external authority trap. This one is deep in human conditioning. Most people are trained from early life to look outside themselves for answers. What should I do? What's right? What's wrong? What's normal? What's acceptable? And slowly, the eternal compass gets replaced. So instead of sensing truth, people look for permission. And that creates a huge disconnect from intuition. Because intuition doesn't speak in logic, it speaks in clarity. But if someone is always outsourcing decisions, they stop recognizing their own inner signal. And over time, they forget they even have one. When you step back and look at all of this together, identity, distraction, fear, comfort, validation, time, external authority, you start to see a pattern. These aren't random struggles. They are systems that shape perception. And most people are living inside them without ever questioning them. Not because they're weak, but because they were never taught to see them. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. That's where awareness begins. Not in escaping life, but in seeing it clearly while you're still in it. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these traps hit the hardest? And don't give me the surface answer. I mean the one that actually made you pause for a second. Because everybody has at least one they've been living inside without realizing it. Drop it in the comments. I read them. And I want this to become a real conversation inside the Source Force family. Not just another video people watch and forget. If this hits something in you, hit the like so this reaches more people who are still inside these loops without realizing it. Share this with someone you feel is stuck in autopilot right now. Save it because this is one of those you'll come back to when life starts feeling unclear again. And if you're not already part of the Source Force family, subscribe because this isn't just content. This is awareness. And once you start seeing clearly, you don't go back. I'll see you in the next transmission. Till next time, remember, we're all in this together, fam. One love.